Today we're going to be ranking all 27 characters in Mortal Kombat 1. Now look, we're going to be judging them off of a few things. Number 1, their strengths and weaknesses, and whether or not the strengths are more than the weaknesses. Number 2, if they do things better than other characters. And then number 3, we are going to be looking at their best cameo/cameos. I think we have to judge them at their best or else it's not fair. And most importantly, I'm going to stay neutral to every single character and give them their best chance. Because let's be honest, we all know I take backshots from Kitana, Liu Kang, and Smoke like every other video. But just for that reason, I'm not going to put them in the top 3. Additionally, these will be broken up into tiers. There's a 100% chance there are some things you're going to disagree with on this list. So if you disagree with anything, let me know down below in the comment section. And if you enjoy this video, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow in more ways than one. Number 27, we have Shang Tsung. Now look, I know I've already pissed off plenty of people, but before you pull my pants down and start spanking me, just try to hear me out for a second, okay? First of all, I only have 2 characters in the D tier, and he happens to be one of them. In fact, I think he is the worst character in the game. Now, I did end up rewriting this entire list about like 25 to 30 times, and every single time he was at the bottom 3. And the more I looked into every single character, the more he stood out as being one of the weakest characters. To start it off, his buttons are not great at all. He has one good string, and that's only in his old form. He also has the forward 3 kick, which is not bad, but it's nothing crazy. He ends up getting outzoned a lot of the times with a lot of different characters, and on top of that, his morphing is just useless. You need to use meter just for it to be good. But on the positive side though, him and Motaro actually have a really annoying string loop you can keep doing for like 100 chip damage over and over again. At number 26, I do have Natara, and I was originally gonna put her at 25, but I decided to change my mind last minute. The positives about Natara is she's really great with Chameleon. She has some of the best damage in this game with one touch you can get. She's an amazing matchup against Johnny Cage, and we all know Johnny Cage is top tier. He's been top tier since the beginning of this game. The only problem with her is that NRS overcompensated on her character. They give her less health. They made sure that there's unblockable protection, which pretty much means if there's an overhead and low in between 5 frames of each other, you just have to block the first hit and the game will block the second for you. But they just didn't want an air character to be as broken like Cabal and MK11, and they definitely over-nerfed her without even releasing her. Things that Natara can do, other characters can do better. I think a nice change for Natara would be kind of giving her the reptile treatment where there's more strings she can air cancel out of instead of just a regular back 2 and forward 4, so it's not as predictable. Number 25, and starting off the C tier, I have Havoc. Now, originally I had him a lot higher. I think I had him like 4 spots higher. And that reason is Movado, but they ended up nerfing Movado without even telling anybody. I found out through my YouTube comment section on the video I did on Movado and Havoc. The weird part is he already takes away 100 of your health, so giving him a damage nerf really doesn't make sense. I know Shao was the main problem, but I feel like they could have just lowered the gravity of the combo so Shao doesn't get 50%, he gets 40. And the nerf to Movado simultaneously nerfed Havoc, because before he was getting 40% off his combos, and on top of that, an unblockable setup. Now he's only getting like 36, which is a big deal if you have to compensate for 100 health around. But the positives are still there. He still has the 50-50 with his back 2-2-4 or back 2-2 grab, and both lead to a combo with Movado. He has incredible range on his down 4 and his back 4. He does get plus frames with his 1-1-2 and grab combos. He's honestly one buff or a better cameo away from being really good. But one thing that will definitely help him is if they change his wake up. In the time it takes Havoc to do a wake up attack, you can go outside, play a whole game of basketball, come back, and he's gonna be halfway done. We should just have the ability to delay the attack or just make it faster if you're using meter. At number 24, we have Gears. Now, Gears is weird. They tried to buff him in the last patch, but they ended up nerfing him because the entire advantage that the Gears player had of knowing how many hourglasses they had loaded up was immediately gone. Now both players can see it, which did nothing but made him worse. Let's really look at this character. Every single Gears player does one or two things. They pop a Serena and they load up an hourglass, or they go full screen and load up an hourglass. If they go full screen, they have one of the worst projectiles in the game. So any character with decent zoning is just going to keep you out until you have 3 hourglasses. And if they use up Serena, they use half of a cameo to get 1 hourglass, and you need 3 of them for it to be functional. And let's say they do use the meter burn. You just used 1 bar and half a cameo to get a combo breaker or a full screen combo starter, which scales burst and grabs. Some of the pluses is he has really good damage. Motaro and him actually have really good block pressure, and he has a low and an overhead, but the overhead is punishable by some of the characters in the game. And the nerfs that Kung Lao keeps getting does not help Geras. At number 23, we have Smoke. As I stated previously, I do indeed take back shots from Smoke. I have the worst time playing against Smoke. When I actually took a deep dive into his character, I actually ended up finding a lot of weaknesses that I can use, and I'm going to share some of them with you. I think we all know his cancels are pokeable, but the thing is, all he can really do to punish that is like 8%, if that. I think it's 7%. He actually has a lot of gaps in his moveset, but if you look at the plus side, he does some of the best damage in the game if you get a touch. And if you do pair him up with Sector, he becomes an absolute nightmare to deal with. If you can find a way to go invisible with him, he immediately becomes a top 15 character in the game. But I will say he's a very good character. I think he can win a tournament at any point. He just needs the right cameo, and I just think the other characters are a bit better than him. At 22, I have Reptile. The buffs really did help him. They made him a little bit better, but I do think he needs a little bit more help. First of all, that whole cancel with the sky drop is very predictable. Most of the time, people are going to do a force ball or an acid spit. And the sad thing about Reptile is the biggest counter to Reptile is simply the jump button, because you can jump over like any force ball at any time. Even if they do it before you, you can jump over, react to it, and get a full combo punish just because Reptile wanted to play his game. On the flip side though, I think really good Reptiles can make Reptile work like no other. His invisibility does need a buff. I think the meterless invisibility takes way too long to walk into, and another help would be making his overhead safe, just like Raiden. I don't know why Raiden can have a safe overhead yet Reptile can't. I think that's just weird. I think if those two things happen, Reptile will be easily in the A tier. Top off C tier, I have Baraka. Now let's be honest, Baraka is just not a complete character. He might have strings, he might have all that stuff, but he was not fully thought out. He does really good chip damage. He does some of the best chip damage in the game. But the biggest problem with Baraka, and the reason why every single time there's a tier list he goes down, is because he's so dependent on the nerfs and buffs of the cameos that himself as a character cannot stand by himself. And yes, there's characters like Scorpion and Sub-Zero that are also dependent on their cameos. But the issue is Baraka has been hit over and over and over again, and it's all been indirect. They didn't mean to nerf Baraka, but he's getting nerfed because of how they're treating the safety cameos. Starting off the B tier at number 20, I have Scorpion. Now, he got some okay buffs, and I know a lot of people are going to have him lower on the list, but in my opinion, he's a little bit better than that. For instance, his buff allows people to be baited for the micro duck off his forward 3-2 string, which pretty much used to get punished for like full combo. I think the versatility you can have during the game with Scorpion is really good. Most of the time, you are going to be using Chameleon with Scorpion, and you have the option to either just go for chip damage or play the safety route full screen with your spear, or you have the option to play full screen with the Hellfire conversion from Katana. I do think he is a little bit better than people give him credit for. He has some of the better buttons up close. His 2-1 string I really think is underrated. His poke is pretty good. He does get grab combos with some cameos, but I do think there's some things that they can do to make this character a lot better, and not even a lot better for the sake of it. I think the whole point of it would be just making him a complete character. For instance, I think his back 3, that full screen sweep, should launch backwards a little, not for a full combo, but for a cameo conversion. For instance, instead of launching like that, it should launch a little backwards, so you have a chance of converting it from a cameo into a decent damage. I don't think the damage should be high. Maybe scale it like a grab where, you know, off of 1 bar you can get like 22%. But I think it would be nice if he had some sort of punish off of that back 3. And number 19, I have Melina. One of the biggest things with Melina is you have to spend bar to throw projectiles. Her regular projectiles don't even go like midway through the screen. And on top of that, they've been nerfing Kung Lao since the beginning of time at this point. And Kung Lao was her best cameo until now, where she's just kind of roaming around the damage and Goro side. On top of that, her 1-2-2 string, if you complete the string, it is up blockable for a full combo punish. And for the 1-2-2, if you try to mix that up for a low side, the low side is -23 when you're right next to your opponent. So you're going to get full punish combo for that anyways. But some of the good things about her is her sweep is actually one of the best sweeps in the game. I think it's +2. And her damage is absolutely like top 5 in the game. I think we all know that double overhead kick that she does. I'm sure that's gotten everybody at some point. She has some of the easiest and best conversions you can do off of her standing 1 into the Melina roll. And she does have one of the best standing jabs in the game. But overall, she's a great character. I do think that they should definitely give her low side as a full screen without spending the meter. That, or they should give her the ability to teleport and cancel right back into where she was before, so she can deal with zoning a little bit better. Number 18, I have one of my favorite characters in this game. game. It's Quan Chi, and one of the biggest weaknesses with Quan Chi is his HP. I don't know why he has less HP than my desk when I slam it when I'm raging in Mortal Kombat. Take into account, one of his better cameos is Movado, and he has 800 HP with Movado, which I think is complete ridiculous. Anybody using Jan Cage can literally fart on you and you'll die in one combo. I don't think health should ever dictate what cameo you should be using. On top of that, he does have gaps in some of his strings. His cage buff was one of the best things they could have done. It wasn't too overpowered, but at the same time, it wasn't completely weak. He definitely needs a faster down one. His down one is, I think, 9 frames. He should have a normal down one like everybody else. On top of that, he has one of the worst counter picks in this game. If you are Quan Chi and you see somebody loading up as Johnny Cage, your best option right there is to immediately turn off your console. There's no way in hell you're getting out of the blocking simulator that Johnny Cage will put you in with that down one. On top of that, his best combo launcher, which is the Falling Skull, only works with some cameos for decent damage, and his other combo launcher costs 2 bars, and it doesn't even scale that well, so I don't understand that. Overall, he's hands down the best zoner in the game, one of the best normals in the game, which is a full screen standing 4. I think if they just fix his health and fix his down one, he'll be in a lot better spot, easily top 15 in the game. At number 17, I have Li Mei, and fun fact about Li Mei, about 95% of her strings are either safe or they're plus on block. She has one of the best damages in the game. With the right cameo, she's easily the best damage dealer in the game. Does struggle to open people up, which makes her really bland and predictable. I mean, most of the time she's just gonna use her plus frames to either get a grab or just go for a whiff punish. You can definitely counterplay that before that even happens. If she had a better way to combo off of her forward 3, I think she would be a lot better spot. I know Movado can combo off of it, Scorpion can combo off of it, but Scorpions is hard to really execute and do it on command. You kind of have to predict it, and Movado isn't even in the best spot right now. At number 16, I have Sub-Zero, and I know that's about 16 spots higher than what most people would have him at, but I don't think people understand what Chameleon does to Sub-Zero. Let me go through every single thing Chameleon brings to the table with Sub-Zero. If it was me personally, I'll put Sub-Zero in the top 10, but objectively looking at it, I think number 16 is the spot for him. So with Jade, he has an overhead that he can make safe and a load that he can make safe. Both start a combo, by the way. With Kitana, he can make the 1-2-2 string into a 50-50 with either an overhead or a low using Kitana's fan off the slide. You can also do this with 2-1-2. And with Melina, he's even crazier because you have a back 3 that can go immediately into the double overhead, or you can just continue the string, which is the low and then use the Melina size for a full combo. No matter who you have as Chameleon, you are able to do some sort of mix-up to get your opponent to open up. Getting zoned out with Chameleon is that just takes skill, because Kitana can get you close and Jade can get you close. And at the top of the B tier, we have number 15, General Shao. This is a hard way to rank Shao because without his axe, I believe he's like a top 5 character in the game. With his axe, that brings him down a little. Although people are figuring out more ways to, use him with his axe, it is nowhere near as he is without the axe. He gets amazing damage. I've probably covered like every cameo at some point during my entire channel with Shao because he's so versatile. You can use a lot of cameos with him and they all bring different aspects to his game. The only thing with Shao is he gets absolutely stumped by a delayed wake up. It is his hard counter. Delayed wake ups mess up all of his setups, and on top of that, his wake up game itself is not good at all. He has one of the wake ups I absolutely hate, but on the flip side to that, he has one of those armor moves that are really good in situations against like Sindel or people that are always floating around in the air. And his biggest thing is he has no mid in his axe form. I mean, he has the back 1-2, but he has no real mid to kind of challenge people, and I think it's kind of good that way. I really hope they don't make the standing 2 a mid because that would just make him like top 5. If anything, they should make his forward 1 a mid if they do plan on doing that. But standing 2 as itself is one of the best buttons in the game, so I don't think that should be touched. You can get poked to death with Shao, but I do think he's getting better and better over time. Starting it off with A tier, we have Raiden at number 14. Now, if you're not aware, Raiden did get nerfed, and it wasn't small either. He pretty much cannot spam Storm Cell anymore with chip damage, and that's what made him so good, is that he had so many tools to just get your health bar low. Now he doesn't have that tool where he can't just spam Storm Cell and play brainlessly. He still has a lot of really good tools, that some characters on this list wish they had. He has some of the best buttons in the game. His damage is really, really good. And with most cameos, you can easily get like 38 to 45% on most of his combos. He just requires a little bit more thinking than 3 brain cells. He has an 8% overhead that is completely safe and it's not reactable. Also has a low starter with it, which he can cancel at any time and go for the overhead for any mix-up. And after all of that, he still has a passive where he takes less chip damage depending on how much chip damage he's taken throughout the match. He's just overall a solid character. But without the storm cells, I don't think he's better than the next characters that I'm about to mention. At number 13, I have Omni-Man. And if there's one thing I'll tell you, I think Omni-Man is the most overlooked character in this game. I know he had his time to shine with everybody, but he's just fallen off for no reason. He's only gotten better with time. And Omni-Man and Jax is a living nightmare. If you've ever gone against the Omni-Man and Jax, you know what it feels like to get constantly fingered in your butt for a whole 4 minutes of your match. There's just nothing you can do about it. Here's an unblockable and then Omni-Man grab and it's full combo every time. Keep in mind, Jax is unblockable. Omni-Man just dodges because it's considered a projectile. His forward 3 is an amazing move to catch people backdashing. He gets pretty good damage off of most things and he has a lot of plus frame on his string. And again, if you don't think he deserves a spot, please look up Omni-Man and Jackson. I promise you that will change your mind. Number 12, I have Kung Lao. Now, there's a lot of things that Kung Lao has going for him. I think we all know his stupid wake up. Completely safe on block, and he can get a full combo punish off of that, which I don't think should be a thing. It should be treated just like every other wake up, and it should not be safe. He has a low overhead and a low, and the low actually ends up launching with Goro. He's overall just a very solid character. He has one of the best dive kicks in the game, if not the best, and he gets insane damage with Janet Cage. Another thing that kind of goes with him is Goro and Janet are his best cameos, and Janet is the best damage dealing cameo, and Goro is the best cameo for safety. No matter what, he kind of always falls into the good category, but I don't think he's in a spot where he needs a nerf or a buff. I think he's in a good spot and he should stay this way. At number 11, we have Ermac. Now, he used to be number 10, but I ended up making a last minute substitution. He's literally the character that brought life into this game again. I mean, this guy's patch single-handedly changed the way that people actually thought about Mortal Kombat, and people actually have hope for the game. This character is one of the most fun characters in this game, if not the most fun character. He's a rushdown monster that is so hard to get away from if you don't know what to do. He gets plus frames on cancels if you use meter, and on top of that, he has some really cheap setups with Janet Cage where you can call out a puppet, and I'm not gonna lie, nobody plays like me, but this is what you can do. He has decent full screen presence with the little low drop from the sky. It's nothing crazy. That's one of his weaknesses. He can't get zoned out and then they can't bait for your teleport to give you a full combo punish, but he always controls the tempo of the game. He's always in his game plan. It is hard to get him out of his spot, and you can get really good damage off of anything as long as you have Janet Cage. He's one of those characters that can go with any cameo on the roster because he's so complete, and the cameos are just a cherry on top for him. Oh, and also he has the best grab in the game. At number 10, I have Rain. That recent patch, man, that gave Rain superpowers. He is so good everywhere on the screen. Full screen, he has the ability to zone you out with his own projectile protection, and he definitely could be even higher because his buffs are still being explored right now. Now he's a rushdown character when he's up front with his cancels. His back 3 normal can actually combo into strings if you cancel the water beam, and it can also cancel into Cyrax, which is always a plus. Now look, I really can't find a weakness that Rain has, and just for that reason, I have to put him up here, and I think this is a character that's just gonna get better with time. At number 9, I have Liu Kang. I mean, the jack of all trades. He can do everything that you want to be able to do at a high level. He has zoning. He's really good with Chameleon, where he can pretty much pick up a combo full screen whenever he wants if he has Katana. He has really high damage for somebody that likes his space, and in my opinion, he has the best stagger string in this entire game with his forward 3. There's just a lot of pluses for Liu Kang, and there's not many minuses. I think it all comes down to just matchup with him, because although his range on his normals isn't the greatest thing ever, I think that is his only weakness, and that can be covered up with cameos. At number 8, we have Katana. I mean, let's be honest, she has the best mid in the game. That back 2 is absolutely brutal, and as much as I want to put her at number 1 because of the abuse I went through with Katana, I'm not gonna do that. If you guys don't know, for whatever reason, I cannot beat Katana with any character I've played besides Ashra. She literally pulls my pants down and just spanks me until my ass is red, no matter who's playing her. You can give the toddler a controller, and as long as he's playing Katana, he's gonna beat me. She has great zoning. She has unblockable cheese with jacks. I mean, that's really hard to get out of. You can convert off of combos like full screen and still get like 30 to 40% damage off of that, which is absolutely crazy. And overall, she has very few weaknesses. She has a really great sweep as well. She's just overall very well kitted. The only thing she does struggle with is protecting herself when she's full screen. But again, cameos can cover those up. At number 7, I have Sindel. Now, I know a lot of people are going to have her either higher or lower from where I have her at, and I'm completely okay with that. I think she can easily be squeezed into top 5. She quite literally has the only unblockable setup in the game. For whatever reason, the unblockable protection that I talked about before does not work when she's in her float state. You will have to learn how to block that overhead low every single time if she is going for the mix-ups with Kung Lao. Now, she is a little lower on my list because of a couple of reasons. It's because the cameos that she uses are also getting nerfed. She has one of the same problems where Kung Lao's hat keeps getting nerfed with the usage of it. But this girl is so crazy. She has another setup with Cyrax in the corner, which is practically impossible to get out of. She has some really good normals. Her forward one is one of the best buttons in the game. Her pokes are really good and long reaching, and she overall just can control the pace very, very easily, and you're gonna have to play her game to win. At the top of A tier, at number 6, we have Peacemaker. Now, I know some people are gonna have this guy at like number 1 or number 2, and I can completely see that. Just in my perspective, I don't think he's better than the 5 characters above him. He's overall one of those characters that have really, really minimal issues, and when I say minimal issues, I can't even think of any off the top of my head. His damage nerf was kind of bad, but even then, you can make damage happen. You can go full screen the entire game with Peacemaker, keep yourself protected, disable your opponent's cameos, which is just unique to him. Sindel can do it too, but not as good as Peacemaker can, and you can stay full screen with the fastest special move in the game. And what's even better is that when you do use the torpedo to try to catch him, let's say it doesn't land, guess what? You have Chameleon just to elevate you to full screen right again. I know I said Quan Chi's the best zoner, but Peacemaker has the best full screen presence out of anybody in this entire cast. He has the best armored move in this game, hands down. I think nobody's gonna argue that. His back four has amazing range. He gets really good grab combos too with Katana, and he still has his grab mixed up with his 2-2 string. So overall, he's a solid character, and I can totally see why people will put him in top 3. Starting off the top 5, at number 5, we have Johnny Cage. He did get nerfed, and he's still in the top 5. That's how good he is. I mean, this character cannot go in an endless loop of mids against you, because before it was to the point where he can pretty much keep attacking you until your index finger gets tired of holding the block button and you fall asleep. Now he's a little more toned down. He's still incredible. He has the fastest mid in the game and the second fastest mid in the game, I think. His back 4 is a 10-frame launcher that's a mid, and one of the best buttons in the game. He has safe mix-ups that lead to 30 or 35% damage. He has the best parry in the game on top of that, and has quite literally no weaknesses, because the only weakness he has is staying full screen. In this game, it is very, very easy to close the gap against anybody, especially when you have Kano and you just shadow kick in and then you punish them for trying to make the right move. And also he has star power, which pretty much just puts him on roids, and he can chain together special moves 3 times over. At number 4, we have Ashra, and Ashra and Serena are like the dynamic duo. They can do 40% combos full screen. I mean, this is one of the only characters that will make you get on your knees and pray for their downfall in real life. She has a really good neutral, amazing damage, and her dark mode cancels are so underrated, and they make her into a rushdown monster. She has overhead and low that can be turned safe with Serena, and if you're using Goro, you can do her overhead and make it safe with Goro. I cannot think of a weakness for you with Ashra and Serena. She's just overall a complete character and has no weaknesses that I know. At number 3, I have Kenshi. I know some people will say he's the best character in the game and everything, and I completely agree with you. I think he can easily be the best character in the game, but I don't think that he is at the moment. He is the only character on the roster where he can press one special move and pretty much guarantee a win that round. And he also has other abilities where he will make the player want to bash their head in because they have not been able to move for 30 seconds straight. And on top of that, he has mix-ups when he is in the Sento sandwich. So not only do you have to worry about moving and getting chipped out, you also have to worry about an overhead or a low, which leads to even more damage and more setup. This character is the definition of getting put in the blocking simulator, and he gets really good damage off of it too. He has plenty of of ways to go into it as well. He has Sub-Zero, he has his Sento Spirit that goes for a launch. Overall, whenever he gets going, the round is pretty much over for you. At number 2, I have Raiko. Now, I honestly believe that the entire development team for this game was doing cocaine when they were making Raiko, because listen to everything he does better than the cast. He has the best projectile, he has the best command grab that combos into 30 to 40% combos easily, he has best reaching normals throughout his kit, he has a safe overhead and a low with his sweep, he has his forward 2, which is +8 on block, his jabs are plus or safe. You're pretty much screwed no matter what you're trying to do against him. Raiko's gonna come in and he's gonna strip down your clothes and you're pretty much there covering your PP doing nothing. This character quite literally is the definition of no weakness, and I've been saying this since day one. I think the safety meta definitely was overshadowing Raiko, but now that all those safety metas are going away slowly, Raiko is shining, and there's a reason I have him this high. But at the number 1 spot, I have Tanya. I mean, Tanya never got nerfs or buffs. The only thing that happened is the meta switching around and people actually realizing her true potential. She's always been this good. She's always been top of the line, but a lot of us were kind of blinded by the striker meta, the Kung Lao meta. Now that that's all going away, Tanya is easily the best character in the game. She has probably the best range in the game. She has amazing synergy with Goro, which you can pretty much get combos off of any. She has the best wake up in the game that you can make plus at any time if you have Goro. Overall, just the absolute complete character. Her buff that she buffs herself where she can teleport actually gives her a movement boost, which I only found out while I was trying to figure out the character. And overall, I think she is the hardest character to deal with in this entire game, and I think she has the best matchups against everybody else in the entire game. Therefore, I think she's the best character in the game. Part of the beauty of these tier lists and rankings is that no two minds are going to be completely the same, and that's what makes it fun. So if you disagreed with anything I said, let me know down below in the comment section or join the Discord and we can talk about it. But if you made it this far, like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow in more ways than one.